Radio check 1 2 1 2. You know my name.
Heavyweight.
Yo.
She's building. JoJo, what's poppin', my love? How are you?
Oh, energy. I love it. How you doing, babe?
I'm good. Well, I got on the highway and there was like actually cars and traffic and it just felt good.
Felt
I was
really
like,
normal
life. Yeah, normal life is almost here. Are you in LA right now?
I am, yeah. So I was actually in traffic yesterday too, and I was like, what does this mean?
Where's everybody going?
I know. This is kind of the thought.
But I'm Heavyweight. Pleasure to meet you, JoJo.
Hi, Heavyweight.
Everybody, pleasure. Everyone in Vegas says hello. Thank you for joining us.
Hey,
I guess we should start out before we get into the album. How's quarantine been treating you? Like, what's daily life looking like?
daily life has been a lot of talking about my album, which I hear you playing in the background, and I love that. So
I got you. I can't play it too loud because I don't want the IG police to shut us down. So I had to lower it a little bit.
Screw them. So I've been talking to a lot of people about my album pretty much every day, slanging that work around, and that's been awesome.
You know?
But I actually there's been a lot of piano practicing, a lot of cooking and baking and FaceTimes and Zooms and dealing, just we're all just trying. We're all just trying to figure it out. How about you? Have you been staying busy?
Yeah, luckily I got my 2-year-old son that I got to chase around.
Wow,
And
parenting in quarantine.
Listen, honestly, I was thinking of doing this at home. I was like gonna have him sing and try to get some critiques of him, but he's at home. Sai says hello, by the way, young Sai. I know he's tuned in right now. Are you binging anything? With a lot of Tiger King at my house, and it's really pissing me off. People won't stop watching it.
Carol Baskin. People are just freaking out. But I watched that. I just finished Hollywood, which is another Ryan Murphy show, and I like that. But I haven't really plunged into Netflix yet because I really have been actually really pretty busy. So.
Which is good, so normalcy. So the album came out May 1st, so it's been about for 2 weeks. I'm curious, the cycle, the album ending and getting it to be, getting ready to come out with the quarantine going on. Did that slow it down a little bit? How was that process towards the end?
Well, we already had the date. We already knew that we were going to put it out May 1st, and my single Man had just come out literally when quarantine hit. So that was just, okay, here we are.
Right?
Whoa. So yeah, first single off of the album came out right when quarantine hit. I was just like, whoa, okay, 2020 is different already. But everything was already in motion, and I didn't want to push back the album. I've pushed back so many things, and I didn't see a reason to hold off on releasing music, because we need music now more than ever. So I was just like, let's just go ahead and let's just keep putting out new music. Let's just keep doing that.
I feel you now. I'm curious, as a singer with the vocals, was there hesitancy to, let me try to redo that. Let me try to make that better. We have the time. If we push it back, was it hard to just let it live and be like, this is the final product, I'm satisfied with that?
Oh my God, I'm hardly ever satisfied. I wish that this could kind of just be a living album, and I could keep it open, and I could go back and recut all the vocals, because I'm insane when it comes to that. But I did recut the vocals on a lot of the songs, not closer up to the release date, but when I write something, I'm still figuring it out. So once I have lived with it for a few weeks or whatever, then I'm like, even if I laid down a scratch vocal, I'm usually wanting to redo that. So I give myself a little bit of time and opportunity to play with it. But if it could be a living album that I could just go change at any time, I would
right?
do that. I would do
that. When Kanye dropped that album,
exactly.
And every week.
I love that.
He was switching everything. No, that's true. I'm curious, going into this album, I was not expecting when I played the first track you talking about showing up in a trench coat, and I was like, oh, this album is hella grown. Like,
I'm hella grown.
is it easy? Yes, no, facts. But was there anything like, oh, my family might hear this? Or it's like, no, my fans need to, I'm grown up. This is a part of being a woman, and that comes, there's different parts of life, and that comes with it.
There's so many different ways to be a woman or to be a man. But for me, this is a part of who I am. It may not look at it right now with this big, huge sweatshirt on, but I am a very, my sensuality, and my sexuality are things that I've been like really getting in touch with over the past few years, and it's informed a lot of my writing and a lot of things that I listen to, and just the way I like to live my life. So I was a little bit like, oh my God, my conservative aunt is gonna hear this, and she's gonna be like,
what is this?
She's gonna be like, Joanna, I thought you were a classy woman. And I'm like, yes, Connie, I'm also a big old freak. What do you want? Like, I'm both. You know what I mean?
I can be both, exactly.
Yeah, I can be both. So I think that's what's fun about being a woman in 2020, is that you can be whoever you want. You can just be true to yourself.
Facts. And then with the second track, Pedialyte, of course you got to talk about the turn up. And we are Vegas. So was there a party that kind of, was the reason why you wrote this song? Or do you have a story about turning up in Vegas?
Damn, nobody does it like you guys do.
Not anymore.
There has been so many big nights that I've been like, whoa, okay, when I wake up in the morning, I need to replenish what I lost. And trying to think of like a particular Vegas night. I mean, when I was younger, when I was like, even when I was like 20 and I wasn't legal to drink, I would still find a way to
finesse.
And
nobody knows what's in this cup right now.
And that's your cup. That's your cup. So that's your business.
Facts.
But I remember being 20 years old and like losing my shoes in Vegas and being like, where are my shoes? And just being so drunk.
What club caused this? What club caused that?
I won't even know this, but you know what? That was always all Joe's fault. I don't even know.
The one song I got to talk to, and I'm glad that the visuals just came out. It's Come Back. Listen, so when I was listening, I was like, okay, this is gonna end the album, talk about her journey, and it's just gonna be a nice way to close out the album. And then I'm gonna reenact the first 30 seconds of me driving in my car.
Please.
Hold on. Let me make sure this is all turned up before the IG Live police. Let's restart this real quick.
I can't wait to see this reenactment.
All right, so I'm driving. Smoking on some, not gonna lie. On a little something.
Don't lie.
You're so much better when you trust me. So fucking good, boy, it's disgusting. Tell me it's mine, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I need that dick all the time.
And then I looked at my monitor, and I was like, hold on. And I immediately woke up my girl, and I appreciate you feel me? Quarantine has a lot of times for activities, so I appreciate you.
I got you.
How difficult was the process, obviously not being able to, even with the visual aspect? I know that you said Tory shot his part at his home. You shot yours at your house.
Right here on this table. See this little table? I was crawling on that.
Oh!
We used those staircases. I was freaking this wall.
That's amazing. How was it working with Tory though?
We have been talking about doing something, working on something for a couple years. And when I wrote this song, 30 Rock, the producer was like, yo, you should really get a feature on this one. And I was like, okay, you're right. Because I was going to keep it no features on the record. But I was like, and it's so funny because I reached out to Tory and sent him the song before things went crazy with quarantine radio. So I love that he did it right before it came out. Because he has so much attention on him right now. But I knew that he would freaking kind of up the ante because he says a lot of wild stuff on his record. So, after hearing Broken a Minute and then just kind of following him a little bit, I'm like, he's gonna give me back something crazy. And I sent him the song. He was like, I'm definitely the dude for this. And then he was like, he sent me back his verse and I was like, I'm never gonna look at a spatula the same way. He said something absolutely crazy. You guys need to hear it, but it's fun, and I felt like he kind of killed me on my own song. I was like blushing, and that takes a
Nah,
lot.
because on the chorus you had the squeaky sounds in the background, and I was like, hold up, wait a second.
I love that song. So, and I love that that we were able to make the visual happen even in quarantine and without putting anybody in jeopardy. So that was cool.
You think are you gonna make any more visuals from the crib, you think, with from the album?
Yes, absolutely. I have something in the works actually, so.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's a couple more questions. One from some of our listeners. Pinkalicious89 wants to know your favorite song on the album and why.
Pinkalicious. It changes every day. I know that's such a corny answer, but it's the truth, and there's a reason why artists say it, because it's like, you know, because it's just true. But I love Think About You. Yeah.
Okay. Let me play mine real quick.
And gold too. Somebody's talking about gold in the comments. Yeah.
You want to know why?
Why?
That's like, you could be with your bae on a beach smoking a blunt, just like, you know, and that's honestly, that's what life's about, right? I mean, love it.
We have to live in our mind these days. So if you want to be with bae on a beach smoking a blunt, then it can all happen right here in your mind.
Exactly. We need to get raunchy with our last question. I don't know if you've seen this. It's gone viral. It's all over Twitter and Instagram. There was a couple that was arguing. The boyfriend got upset because the girlfriend made an OnlyFans account. And I love your reaction. So check it.
Tell me more.
He was like, "Why are you upset?" And he was like, "Because you made an OnlyFans account." But then she was like, "You don't pay my bills." Excuse me. Hold on. Let me do it right. "You don't pay my bills, though."
He clapped on him?
Yeah. So it was a little intense. We did a poll. 60% of our listeners was on the boyfriend side. 40% was on the girl side.
Damn. That's a slim
whose side are
margin.
you on? Yes.
Well, I feel like I want a little bit more context. You know, like, first of all, I'm kind of on her side.
I would agree too. I feel like instead of saying, "Why do you have an OnlyFans?" I would be more upset and be like, "Why didn't you ask me to be the camera person?"
Right.
That, or like, "Why can't I be your camera person?"
100%. Like, engage him in it. It's all good. Like, get money together, or I don't know. Just don't make him feel like a trick.
Plus, the reason why this got captured was the dude's roommate was kind of grimy and walked up and took it, which tells me one thing. He's talking like a boss, but he doesn't have that boss budget to then trying to control girl. And the girls wearing sweatpants, but that was not hiding anything. So I don't know if that's important or not, but it seems kind of important.
Yo, that's awkward. So he was in quarantine with his girl and his roommate, and she's over there making an OnlyFans in this very active apartment. There's too much going on, yo. Damn.
She got 110K followers on Instagram since the past 3 days. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like she won.
I feel like she won too. Yeah, moral of the story is whatever.
Right. Last thing, JoJo, if you want to just, leave a nice, lovely message for everybody here in Vegas before we get out of here.
Hey, Vegas. It's your girl, JoJo. Just want to say, yo, I hope that you're taking care. I hope you're staying sane. That's so hard right now. I know so many people are going through a hard time. And if you're alone and you don't want to be, I'm thinking of you. And I hope that I'll see you on the other side of all this. I know we're all anxious to get back to, holding hands and all that. Yeah, life. So go check out Good to Know in the meantime, my new album. Mwah.
Facts, all streaming services.
That's right. JoJo.
Facts, SoundCloud, YouTube. Listen to Comeback if you like want to have a baby, because that'll do the job. It's Heavyweight approved. JoJo, we appreciate the time, my love.
Thanks, Heavyweight.
All right, take care, love. Bye.